Ministry of Wrestling podcast. Do you know what I think about the Ministry of Wrestling podcast? It's my favorite podcast, and I'm yet to listen to it. Right now, I will listen to it. That's the deal, right? So right now, if you're looking at my bald head and you're not listening to the Ministry of Wrestling podcast, I'm ashamed of you. I'm disappointed in you. You've made me sad, and the only way you can sort this out is by listening to
the Ministry of Wrestling podcast.
Do it now and subscribe and do other things with the thing.
All right, thank you. What's up, man?
Hey, yo, another wrestling pay-per-view has just gone by, so you know what that means. We're here. It's me, the one, AJ Anthony Jordan.
We're actually allowed to throw this up now because our best friend Chris Bay said we could. It's me too, double V Nico Lero. Too sweet.
That's the one. Guys, my camera's going to go off. This is very unprofessional of me, but I just got something to do on this. Bear with me one sec. Keep talking. Tell them what we're going to be talking about, Nico.
Yeah, so effectively, it's just a sum up of what we saw as Impact Wrestling's last ever pay-per-view before the return of the magical three letters TNA, Total Non-Stop Action. Because this, what we're discussing today, Final Resolution, the last ever Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. And yeah, very good, AJ. Very good for you. Back over to you, mate.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is exactly what it is. We attended Turning Point, and honestly, the name could not be more fitting because we both said it before. We're not going to repeat history. It was our turning point. It brought us back into the world of Impact Wrestling and TNA. And I wore this when we interviewed Chris, and that was just me just being fitting. And if I'm honest, I couldn't find my MOW t-shirt. But I was like, oh my God, yeah, I can wear Impact. There's two sides to it. But here's what happened. I watched Final Resolution, and it sounds stupid, but the penny dropped. This is the last Impact pay-per-view. Like this is the last time you could truly wear this t-shirt. Because like, oh, we wear it next year, we're going to represent. No. Next year I'm going to have a TNA British flag. Like a t-shirt for that said show. And what a pay-per-view. Again, for something we dismissed, what a pay-per-view. Impact have got me. TNA, I'm in from January,
they really
man.
Do. They've got me too. There's still some more soul searching that needs to be done with some of the stars. Not going to name drop out of respect, obviously. But for the people who I'm in with, I am in. Like Myers, Edwards, I'm a big fan of those two. Moose has got me hooked. Like I'm genuinely curious to see if he's going to be the next world champion. I say yes, by the way.
I felt that as well. I'm not going to lie. I felt that.
I think he's the guy. Rhino being in a street fight, I was like, well, there's a nice throwback to the wrestling fans, and it's nice to see us not being treated like, oh, we have to be careful of the casuals. No, you don't. You have to just let the casuals follow along and enjoy the ride and treat the hardcores like you and me like we should be treated with some goddamn respect, because we know what Rhino's history is. We know he's an ECW guy. So he gets punted in the NADs, and it's like, street fight. Oh? Yeah. Like, go on. Now that's how you treat your fans. Respect. And then you've got that opening tag team. Bro, if Chris Bay is going to deliver what he said in that interview, watch it right now on the channel, our most viewed video ever. If Chris Bay is going to deliver what he's saying, give us a match with Will Ospreay. Yo, I'm here for that. Equally, Ace Austin. I could see him in a one-on-one with Will Ospreay tearing it down, but that tag team match was so good.
It gives the emotions. It gave everything. And you know what? For the fact, and you know, I love the way that Impact gave a little, well, Moose has won this, and that's why he's not here with Myers, and that's why Eddie Edwards has stepped up to the plate. For a tag team that's not been a tag team, excuse me, that was powerful. That looked like a well-seasoned tag. And that's not taking anything away from ABC. Was I happy and cheering my rear end off to see ABC win? Hell yeah, Chris is our boy. Chris authorized this. Of course I was happy for that. Like,
our best friend Chris Bay, facts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. the B in ABC stands for best friend. Like, that's where we're at this point. But like it gassed me to such a degree. And again, you talk about, okay, you had the pre-show, and again, Frankie Kazarian, never gonna hate on Frankie. That was good. PCO.
Dude, he's
Like,
such a ring general.
one of my biggest regrets is not getting the chance to have met Frankie at Turning Point, having seen him, but he still interacted with us, and that just felt so cool. At the point where he's like, "Yeah, that's Adam."
We call him Adam now.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that is so cool. But you've seen some vets, and again, what they've said in their opening is what I respect. You're taking the seasoned vets of TNA, bringing out the very best in the up and comers, and this is something you don't see much in the other promotions, if I'm honest. And this makes me very, very, very positive for the future of TNA, because they're just opening guys left, right, and center.
Well, Chris said it, didn't he? He said that one of the best things about TNA is that they give you opportunity. If you're on that roster, they will give you a chance. I have to say, I loved seeing one half of Mustache Mountain there. I was like, go on,
Seven. Listen,
go on,
Trent,
Seven.
and I've put it on our X this morning because I watched it and seeing Trent get signed, right? We are lucky enough to see Trent perform at Rev Pro this Saturday. You know? Yeah, Trent's there. And the fact that it's just like possibly one of the last UK shows. I know Impact are very open. Like Chris, yes, it's not the Chris Love show, but yeah, we do love Chris. Chris is still allowed to perform. ABC is still allowed to perform in New Japan. We know talent are open. Will Ospreay has that relationship with New Japan where he's doing what he's doing, and he's still going to be at Hard to Kill. Like, they have good relationships, so it's not necessarily the last time we see it. My group, Subculture, they are Impact. Danny Luna's also going to be down there. Sadly, Mark Andrew, I know it's because Mark's injured. I know it. Otherwise, they would have been at Uprising too. Gutted. But, you know, they're open to letting people travel. But it's awesome to see Trent get that platform. And I love the way that everyone was like, Speedball Mountain straight away.
Speedball Mountain was a nice touch. I thought that was very good.
Awesome touch that came out from everyone.
See what happens when you don't treat fans like casuals and you actually treat them like, this is the thing I've been preaching for the last few weeks. Impact treat their fans as fans. They don't treat them like these fragile little things that need to be managed because, oh, what if they don't follow? It's big people getting in a squared circle, knock-bassing the living hell out of each other. If you don't know the history, you're still going to enjoy it. Get the history as you're going. And appease to people like you and me who do know the history.
Do you know what? Another thing that made me really sit back and say, I don't take back a statement I made. The episode doesn't come out, and it probably will come out in 2024, people. Who has the best women's division? Right?
Oh, Impact's up there. It's hard to argue against Impact.
But this, remember, I kind of coughed it, and then the episode didn't come about. Do you know what I loved about Impact? We've got the madman that is Santino Marella coming out every 2 minutes and just literally making sure the last Impact pay-per-view was the best showing. We got an unexpected, unadvertised women's match. How often does that happen? That you're going to get someone and, you know, the female match. Like, I don't want to compare, but let's do it. You could have Zelina Vega mouthing off that the LWO lost. You would have had the two guys out there in another tag match, or they would have just got squashed or dashed out. It was like, okay, so you got a lot of talk, huh? You seem to be in your female wrestling. You seem to be in your wrestling attire. Boom. Let's have a women's match out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, we got one of those matches added, and it had the crowd going. It was a decent match. Obviously, we knew she was going to lose, but that's not the point. I have to admit, the tag match was also very sentimental to me. It was very sentimental to me because we met 3 out of 4 of those.
Giselle, man. Giselle and Trinity.
Trinity and Diona. It was like, I knew I should have paid to meet Jordan. I was like, come on. That match just felt so...
Poor Jordan and that botched ending, though. Damn. I felt so bad for her. I was like, oh, Jordan, no.
It hurt me. It hurt me.
It really hurt
me. I looked at it and I was like, that would have been such an awesome finish had all the elements just fallen.
And the leg just slipped and it was like,
I was like, no. But again, that's that. And then with that, there is an awesome knockouts match. And do you know another thing? I said it again. I was very much on my ex while watching Turning Point today. Trinity, and I know she may eventually hold a 1, 2, 3 or tap out in TNA, but Trinity's Impact career is undefeated. You can't take that away from her. She has an undefeated career in the Impact era. Awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm still not convinced that Jordan Grace is the one to dethrone her. I don't think she's going to lose to Jordan.
I think it's still going. I think we still got more of the Glow era.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, but do you know what I thought they did really, really well? Is they weren't overindulgent. They didn't make it a big sentimental, oh my God, Impact is over. It was very much just like, look forward, look at what's coming. And, we know Hard to Kill's coming up. But, bro, have you seen the card on Snake Eyes? They were announcing it the other night. I'm sorry. Are you telling me Kazuchika Okada and the Motor City Machine Guns are going to be in the same ring together? What? What? Excuse me, what? I had a little heart attack. And did you see what one of the other matches was?
Yeah.
Josh Alexander and our boy, the Billy Goat, Will Ospreay.
Billy Goat versus the Walking Weapon Part 2. And we saw Part 1 right.
Are you kidding me? You freaking kidding me?
I'm not going to lie.
You get people excited. And that is something I miss from wrestling so much. Is like a movie release. We literally just came off of our movie show. Is knowing months in advance. Look forward, or in this case, I guess it's middle of December, so a month in advance. This is coming. This is the date. Okada, Motor City Machine Guns, Moose, Billy Goat, Walking Weapon, 12th of January. That date's in my head now.
Literally midnight has just crossed. We were literally a month away from recording.
They are letting me know a month in advance what I can look forward to. I'm going to throw shade here at the other organizations. The big boys, no names because it's an Impact Love show or TNA Love show, but the so-called big boys can't even get what's happening next week sorted out without being subject to change. I'm being told a month in advance now. I'm getting all of the aforementioned. Are you out of your mind? I am so excited for that pay-per-view, I can't tell you.
Do you know how excited I was? I actually was like, I wish I could be in Vegas. That's how pumped I was. I want to actually be in Vegas. I can't.
Yeah, I'm just saying, North Air, 350 quid to Vegas. I mean, we could do it.
Plus the ticket, but
how much is the ticket? We could. Are we going front row again? It's cheaper in the States, isn't
it? Hopefully, he says. Or we might have to roll
might be the one guy I still need to see live.
Who's that?
Okada.
Listen, when it comes to,
I'd like to see Danielson live, but we're probably going to get that at Wembley this year.
When it comes to TNA's legacy, Bully Ray is very much up there.
Bully Ray, I need to see live. That's
my wish was granted. As much as I didn't get to meet him, I saw Rhino very close.
Moose.
Again, these are ones that we have seen. It's on the tick list of. I swear to you, if I go again.
No, but what I'm saying is we got so many box ticks that night at
Turning Point.
Why am I blanking? Sorry.
Turning Point.
Thank you. Turning Point. Jesus, mind blank there. That was such a good night, man. And it's going to be one of many that I go to for Impact. But yeah, Bully Ray. Yeah, Bully Ray might be top of my must-see list, actually. Bully Ray and Kazuchika Okada. But look, announcing it a month in advance. And now let's go full circle. Let's bring it back to this pay-per-view now. Final Resolution. That main event.
I was actually going to bring this up.
Dude, I'm going to throw shade again here before we give this the full praise. And I will name drop here. I have not seen a single, and I've watched more of the product for my sins. I have not seen, correct me if you have, but me personally, I can't think of a single WWE match that I have seen either on pay-per-view or live in a stadium this year that comes close to the technical mastery that I saw in that main event. So that was unreal.
Can I be honest? I mean, that is one thing I can agree with. I can agree with that full-heartedly. Here's the part that got to me. When you look at the early matches, it felt like, as you said, it wasn't like a final hurrah and what have you, but it felt very much like fan service. It felt like you got the results that you would expect, and it's a final, a nice goodbye, right?
This was a shock.
And Moose was like the turnaround, and you kind of like, Moose isn't losing his briefcase. It's just a way of it, right? I was like, TNA's on the border. Obviously, the Motor City Machine Guns are walking with this. When I saw Josh hit the pile driver, I was like, oh my God, he's hit the pile driver. 1, 2. And I was looking for the kick out, and it was like, legit.
What?
It was one of the biggest shocks. Again, we saw Will versus Josh at Turning Point.
Will versus Eddie. It was Will Eddie.
Well, Eddie, my bad. Why did I think it was Josh? Of course, Josh was in the tag team match, yeah. But every main, you kind of know who's going to win in most, across the board. AEW, WWE, TNA, Impact, right? We knew it. Each one we've been able to call our main. This one, I was like, you did what?
Bro, I'm glad I'm not a betting man. I would have lost money on that match.
But the thing about that is, that just told me with that level of unpredictability to close out Impact, anything could happen in the world of TNA, baby.
So correct. And that makes it exciting. So let's pull the curtain back. When all of the ministry gather at Big Tones or at yours or at Den's, and we're watching WWE, what is the constant criticism that I say?
Predictability.
The predictability.
Safe bet.
Playing it safe. So now you're telling me, without being sentimental and melodramatic, which the bigger guys are guilty of doing. Oh, the melodrama. Jesus, the melodrama. Without being overly melodramatic and sentimental about being their final pay-per-view, just standing behind really good wrestling, you've just taken, according to the Ultimate Finesse Chris Bay, which I agree with, by the way, arguably the greatest tag team in Impact and TNA history. You've put them in the main event and they lose? What?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a squash or it wasn't like a dud. It was like, no. That was a brilliant 50-50 wrestling match. And the thing that I love, where it was clever, I was like, my big fear was like, you've brought in a New Japan guy in Zach.
Yeah.
How do you bring him in and not sour it? Because it would look dodge having Zach lose. But then I was like, you need to have Motor City win. But equally, if there's a chance that Zach wins, it can't be Zach getting the win over a TNA or an Impact person. They played it so perfectly. Like every decision they made in the build up to that ending was so pitch perfect. And I have to say, on the very same day that a certain Seth Rollins looked CM Punk in the face and tried to make me believe in a promo that you're standing opposite the real best in the world, and then I'm watching these four guys go, I'm like, Seth, shut up. Like,
I'm not going to discredit Seth. I'm not going to discredit.
Seth is amazing. Let's call a spade a spade. Did you see that cheeky pin that Zach did on Chris?
Bro, listen, the match.
Arms crossed, ankle locked, pulled over, head back into an arch, arms still crossed. He did the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, stands arms while balancing on his head. Are you kidding me? Like, what am I watching? What is wrestling now?
What such a main, and you know, I don't just call it classic Motor City, but I've been out of touch with Impact TNA for a while, where they had Zach in the corner and they are just destroying the guy's knees left, right, and center. Yeah. And I was like, oh, like these are the elements that actually have me in the zone. So yes, I was actually in the Impact zone for better or worse. It was the main I didn't know I anticipated, because again, I saw Josh. The walking weapon was the easy target. Oh no, he wasn't. Because may I say, that is one of the most devastating pile drivers in the business, right?
It's mean, isn't it? It's like a weird cross between the J Driller and a pedigree. It's like,
it's something. Dare I say, it's the most it's the most unexpected main event I've seen in 12 months of wrestling. Hands down.
Completely agree. Not just because of the result, but because of the fact that I didn't realize, like, do you remember at Mania when the crowd was, I mean, I don't know how much you heard watching it at home, but what I can tell you from firsthand experience being there, when we got to the Rhea Charlotte match, the reason that was match of the event at Mania is because when those two ladies entered, the crowd was spent. They had to, through the course of that match, win the crowd over, and it was by winning the crowd over that it elevated it up to a level, right? Dude, talk about winning the freaking crowd over, what those four men did in that main event.
Yeah.
It was, dude, it was art.
It was. And you know, now that we're talking of this, do you realize, yeah, some people say tag team wrestling is dead. This show gave us 3 tag matches. It had an opener. The Rascal, Trey
Tag team
Miguel.
wrestling is dead under the Fed. It is.
But we got 3 tag matches in there, and none of them were dead. One of them wasn't even meant to be a tag match.
Correct.
Remember, Speedball Mike Bailey was just meant to take on
when you've
Zachary and Trent were not part of that match.
No. When you've got teams like ABC, like the Motor City Machine Guns, and hell, I'll even throw the Young Bucks in there from a non-impact point of view. We are in a very, very lucky time to be watching tag team wrestling. The fact that the Fed don't actually recognize it still is mind-boggling to me. Tag team wrestling, man. When Chris Bay said it in that interview, it's such a great tool to become not just Triple Crown, but to raise your stock, to make new friendships. Like, dude, that was art what I was watching. You talk about it, being the main event you didn't know you needed. Talk about being a sneaky contender for match of the year. From a technical wrestling perspective, before that bell rang, I was looking forward to it, but it wasn't like registering on my radar. But man, it's made enough noise that I'm like, oh, like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. Oh, this is toying with me now. Like Motor City Machine Guns and Zack Sabre and freaking Walking Weapon. I'm like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. It was, look, again, solid opener. Obviously, I'm going to say that, Chris Bay. But no, honestly, like solid opener of a match.
You mean
the match is
the finest opener?
Yeah. No, there's not much.
It never dipped after that tag team opener. That's what I thought was great. It didn't dip.
No, there are some faces I need to be more familiar with. Again, as you said, there are some matches I'm not going to hate on anyone or what have you. There are some matches like, okay, I've heard your names. This is my first time seeing you perform. Doesn't mean they were bad. I just need to get to know you guys a bit more. Do you get where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Even that, you gave me a story in it, and this is what I'm liking. So, no, guys, we're not doing the official ranking, and partially that's because there was no posters because we got surprise tag matches. Like, even if you go onto Impact's page now, it still shows Trey versus Speedball Mike Bailey. It doesn't. Who actually retweeted us today? Liked our post. One to. But yeah, thank you very much, Speedball. But it was there. So we're not ranking. It was just to say before we sign off, before this signs off, what a way to sign off. You definitely left with an impact there, I say. And yeah, that was the final resolution for Impact, and what a way to go out.
It was indeed total non-stop action, that pay-per-view, and how fitting that's how it's going to be rebranded. It was start to finish for a pay-per-view to not dip is quite the achievement. And to end on such a surprise and such a high without veering into the tried, tested, proven, and utterly mundane and boring realm of over-sentimentality and melodrama, Adam Copeland looking at you, Oh, mate, he's the most melodramatic man in all of wrestling. I absolutely adore him, but he is so melodramatic. It's ridiculous. Never veer into that realm and play it safe. I mean, guys, well done, man. Bring on Hard to Kill them. Bring on Snake Eyes.
Yeah, that's a big one. So, guys, for the final Impact pay-per-view, I'm gonna do a bit of a it was too sweet. I was gonna say I'm gonna give it a bit of a silver screen dude touch here because it's gonna get the 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. I won't give it a goat because but
No, it's not a go pay-per-view, but it's a freaking
it's
two
thumbs up.
pay-per-view.
That's the way we're gonna rank it. We're gonna do an SSD new style. It definitely got a 2 thumbs up for me because it didn't waver my attention. I was like, yo, this is good. This is good, and it makes me want more. As you just said, there are 2, and they're doing this, back-to-back shows like nobody's business. So they're really delivering, firing at all cylinders. So Scott, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it right. That's the way I'm going to put it there.
The only thing Scott needs to do, Lauren, help us out here if you're watching, thank you, is get Double V and AJ and the ministry more involved because we love your product and we'll sing those chants and we'll sing those praises until the cows come home. If you keep giving us content like this, my God, we're going to give that content back to you because this is good.
Too sweet.
Whee!
That's the one. But yeah, guys, look, we're gonna keep it short and sweet. And if you haven't, do check it out. It's on Impact Plus. It's there, and that's another thing. They've got a streaming service coming out. Yeah, it's with Endeavor. There's stuff to do. Look, now you're making me extend when I didn't want to extend. Check it out. TNA Plus is there. It's there. But right now, hit Impact Plus, hit Fight TV, hit The Zone. Find it where you can because it's not one to be missed. So, guys, Impact went out with an impact. Let's bring on the total non-stop action. TNA is back, baby, in 2024. So, until the next time, I am the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
Double V, the Viceroy, verisimilitude. Me too, Nico Luro. Too sweet right here, brother. I cannot wait for more TNA in 2024. The big 3 letters are back, baby. Let's do it.
We out.